Now
Did
let's try
someone
and get
start
that.
that saying Depresso Espresso? Because I think I said it at Coldplay and now I can't stop like saying it.
I've said it for years, but I'm sure I stole it from somewhere,
Oh,
if that
okay,
makes
so I've
sense.
stolen it from you. Okay, that's fine.
Probably. It does feel like the kind of thing that I will have said to you.
I'm saying this while like drinking a knockoff Audi or Lidl Red Bull.
Oh, well, there you go. Depresso Espresso. That's the way. Have you started recording, by the way?
Yes, I have.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Kat just said that I don't look like a bloke, so if
I
you
didn't
wanna...
stop up. All I said was that Piers looked like a bloke. I did not say that Chris didn't.
Can you tell I planned that?
You are
I
such a
I
meanie
thought about it
pants.
and I gone, well, this is a good opportunity. This is an opportunity.
I know how I can
I
make my best friend feel bad.
Yes. Yes, I do. That's friendship, everyone.
The thing
Welcome
is,
back.
well, yeah, welcome back, guys. You know how we do this thing where we like go, oh, joking, joking. With you, a lot of the time, like, I don't say joking, and then I'm like, do I need to say that? We're at that level where I don't think we have
Most
to
of the time,
say.
it's fine. Most of the time, it's fine. I feel like if it isn't fine, you'd know because you'll be like, I'm joking, right? And I'll be like, yeah, it's fine. I won't actually think it's fine until you say that. But
You'll
the
go
way
home
in
and
which
cry for a month.
yeah,
This is a great start to the. How long has it been since we did a podcast? I feel like it's been a couple of weeks now.
it's been a while. It's been a good long while. It's basically been a month, I would imagine. Um, we
It was
might
sort
have
of
done one at the
needed.
start of August, but let me double check. Here we go.
Oh yeah, you've got
Do
all of the.
they? The last time we recorded was the 26th of July. So
Oh
it's
wow! So it's
been
been a month
a
and
month.
2 days.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
It doesn't
It,
feel
it
like that long, but it feels like it has been a break.
exactly. And to be fair, this year, or ever since we moved to 2 week gaps,
Yeah.
we haven't missed a single one. We've been pretty
Wow.
on it. So
That's good.
to be fair, I think like you said, a break was needed. Call it our summer vacation. There you go.
And it wasn't planned, but it just like
No,
sort of naturally happened, and it wasn't like a big stressful thing. It just sort of, I
no,
think
no.
we both needed a break. And I think the thing is, even if you love doing something like the podcast, we both find really fun. Otherwise, we wouldn't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um, but even when you're doing something you like and it's sort of scheduled in, I think you can sort of lose your momentum a bit with it. And I think now we've had that little break, I feel happier to be back, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. And plus, I think it's the thing of sometimes you have to. There are life things that you have to do, or whatever it is, or you've got planned, and you could. We have often in the past kind of moved things around a little bit so that we can still do the podcast. So if we've got
Yeah.
things planned, we can. But sometimes it's easier and probably better for us to say, should we just not do it this week and be able to focus on whatever it is that either of us have got planned or whatever. Just because we have lives and it's not like we get paid to do this. It's something we enjoy. Fuck me.
Was
Whoa.
that loud?
That was so loud.
I thought you realised you hadn't been recording or something then.
No, my God.
That's the escapee dog
Woo.
that's just like shaken with all of her many
Woo.
key rings on.
My
She's got a
God.
tracking fob and information tag because she's the escape artist. And Steve still hasn't realised that she's in our house, so that's nice and concerning. Sorry, for context, basically one of the other dogs jumped through our decking, so now I've got 3 dogs in the house instead of 2 dogs. So
It is
I'm
a little
waiting
bit
to see
concerning.
how long it takes for him to realise that he's missing a dog.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Sorry.
I can't remember
Before
what I
your
was saying before I
eardrums
got panicked.
burst.
Sometimes you gotta do life. We had lots going on. Oh, we don't get paid. We're doing it as something we enjoy, and I think we want to keep it as something we enjoy. Like, we don't
Yeah,
want to. If you're, when you're not getting paid for something, which is not to say that I feel like I want to get paid for this, but when you're not being paid for something, you you do it for that passion, that enjoyment, and you don't want to turn it into something that you resent. And I
yeah.
don't. I absolutely don't. I love doing it, but I want to continue to love doing it, I think,
Mm.
is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, no. So we haven't been around for a while, but we hope you haven't forgotten us.
And
Hi.
we've got more to talk about probably because of this break. Like we had, so I had the Hen Stag, we had Coldplay, um,
Yeah.
which I'm sure like we're probably going to talk about most of this podcast. I'm assuming if you're on the same wavelength as me. And yeah, sorry, I had a
Your dogs
blank
are on a
then.
bit of a mad one today, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know why they think Pippin. Here's almost right side story. There's always a little side story about our little star of the show, Pippin. So as I've shared this on the podcast, but Chris and I are both insomniacs. I am a medicated insomniac, and when I sleep,
I'm unmedicated. I'm a real rogue.
you are wild. But when I take my medication, like if there's something, now is not playtime. Stop eating your bed, you dickhead. But when I wake up in the middle of the night because of a noise or something, it's like being completely drugged out of your brain. You can't really, I can't move. It's not like necessarily a bad thing. Like if the dog gets up, I can hear the
Mm,
dogs there needing to be let out, but I can't physically get up. So
mm,
anyway, the dog gets pierced up last night, and he's got into this little routine of pretending he needs to go out to the toilet. So he whines. Pierce gets up. They walk to the back door together, and then Pippin sprints and tries to jump in our bed. Um, and he's not allowed in our bed anymore because he takes up too much space, and
You're
he's
such a
got.
sneaky bastard.
I know, and I'm kind of like the first time I was kind of proud because he's dumb as fuck, and I was like, that's actually quite smart. um, but he did it last night again, and I just hear like bang, 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 and like Piers had obviously half asleep, sort of banged into all the furniture, tried to sort of stop the dog getting in the bed, either stepped on the dog or pulled the dog in some funny way, and he does this like little pathetic little and
Oh.
Piers is getting like pushed around by Pippin, then panicking and trying to run out. And all of this is happening, and I still couldn't wake up. But anyway, I fell asleep. So Pippin is in the doghouse today because he kept
Mm-hmm,
everyone up, and Piers is like, he's not allowed in our bed anymore. We must keep
mm-hmm,
our bedroom door shut at all times, which I
mm-hmm.
agreed with, and I will, support. But it is just funny because I think, I think it was at that point, when you're so sleep deprived, where he would have given the dog away.
Yes. Yes. It's that point where you
Bye.
stop thinking rationally. You're just like, I hate you.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
And I've had those feelings towards Piers before when he's woken me up in the morning and like just
And you
by
thought about
being
taking off the ring and being like, look, you do that again, you're taking that ring back.
worse murder. No, honestly, when he's decided to get up at 5:30 in the morning, randomly, like I feel like some people do this. They randomly decide, yeah, I'm gonna be a morning person. I'm gonna get up at 5:30. I'm gonna go for a
Who
run.
is
Gonna
deciding
eat
that?
breakfast. Yeah, sadists. So,
Fuck me.
but what he does is he has his alarm. He's one of those people who leaves their alarm going on and on and on, and he can sleep through it, but I can't. So,
Okay, I have to be honest.
oh, you are that person as well, aren't
Recently,
you?
I seem to have started doing that. To the point where, apparently the other day, my dad was like, his alarm's been going off for ages. And I just had completely set for it because I was so... It's rare, I think. It's more when I'm like
That's
completely gone, you know?
Yeah, and that's acceptable. Like I've definitely done it like once or twice where I've like just I know the alarm's gone off, but I've slept through it.
Yeah.
Um, but he will do that on a regular basis, and he'll leave it
I see.
like he'll leave the phone in the bed. So then you've got to try and find it under the sheets. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I have almost murdered him in the past for doing that. That was a really weird tangent, but like, what were
No, I
we?
enjoyed it.
I just thought that was. I feel like there's so many different types of sleepers, um, and when you're in a relationship as well, I think people think that because you're in a relationship, you have to sleep together, you have to cuddle, you have to. At the end of the day, if you can't sleep properly, doing the cutesy, snuggle, make like it's not. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is you getting a full night's sleep. So like, if you need to sleep in a separate room, I'm not gonna bloody judge you.
Are you
Or
telling
like,
me that in a relationship you're not constantly happy and skipping around and smiling at each other and going, "Oh, I love you," and like booping the other one's nose? Are you telling me that's not how it works?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry
Can't
for all
believe it.
these.
The rom-coms have lied.
But I know Piers is a very warm sleeper, and I can't. He's too hot. Like he's too hot to be around. No, like we have a super king size bed. Very lucky to have a big bed, and I sleep like 2 meters apart from him. And we are better people for it. We do snuggle occasionally, but like you're in bed to sleep, right? Like
You are in bed to sleep. Primarily, you're in bed to sleep. You don't
I
want to
just
be, you know, you don't want to when you're ready to sleep. You don't want to be, especially if he's gonna sit there and leave you sweating.
yeah,
You
no,
don't want to be
not
there
about
like
that.
overheating before you go into bed. Come on now.
And okay, so I've got a question for you. With um when it's hot in summer, do you sleep without a cover on, or do you still sleep with some sort of cover over you?
Okay, it's funny you should ask because people on the podcast will see that basically I either when it was really hot, like the heat wave kind of thing,
Yeah,
fully just on top of my like no cover, no anything because I didn't need it. It was
yeah,
so warm. It was like anything on top is gonna ruin it. But normally over the summer, what I do is I just take the duvet out of the duvet cover,
yep.
and so I'll just use that as kind of like a blanket kind of thing because it's like it's enough to like cover you and stuff, but
For
also
comfort.
yeah, it's there because normally you just need that kind of thing there, and it keeps you
Yeah,
kind of warm if it's a little bit colder. But also, if I put a duvet on, I'm just gonna be like a hot mess, and not a good kind of hot mess.
I feel that. I feel that. Like I see that. I think this is me being weird. For comfort reasons, I have to have the duvet over me. Even if I'm boiling, I'll have a leg out or like half my body out, but I'll still be like cuddling
That's fair. No, that's fair.
the duvet. Um, Piers can sleep with nothing like on him, like no duvet
Not
cover,
on a
nothing.
regular
Just
basis.
like yeah. Even in winter, sometimes he overheats and he just sleeps on top. So I sleep under the duvet. He sleeps on top of the duvet.
How the
Um,
fuck does he manage that?
and he does have a little grey blanket which is quite thick, but he normally and he also like I'll make the bed and I'll give us two pillows each. He wants to sit in bed with two pillows. As soon as he goes to sleep, he
He takes one
launches the
away.
other one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm someone who needs two pillows. Um,
That's the thing I've never understood about. Sorry, tangent for me now. You know, people who when you see their beds and they've got like their bed and they've got two pillows and then some more cushions and then some more cushions and then some more cushions.
what
And
is
it's
the
like all
fucking
laid out.
point?
And I'm
Yeah.
like, we all fucking know what's gonna happen. The second you go to bed, straight onto the floor, all of them gone, or you're gonna have to spend time. I mean, okay, maybe these people carefully pick them up and place them into a different place. And like, oh, I'll put these over here. Obviously, if it was me, I'd be like, straight out, launched them immediately just over my room. I'd be like, right, that's good of that shit. You're not
Yeah.
gonna sleep on them, are you? You're definitely not sleeping with all of them. Why are
No.
they there?
And if
That's
you
my
do
thought
sleep
for
with
the
them,
day.
they become like really inconvenient and lumpy and just
That's the thing.
annoying.
Are you like when you? I mean, I like for better or worse. I seem to like toss and turn a little bit in my sleep.
Oh
So
yeah.
like, what happens when I wake up and I've got like a pillow in my armpit? and a cushion like somewhere underneath my leg that's made me feel. I'm gonna
Yeah,
wake up feeling like I've slept on rocks, and
yeah,
that's not what I need in the morning.
yeah. I don't get it. At one point, when you go through the phase of like, oh, I'm an adult, I'm really into sort of uh homeware. Is that the right
Ah,
like?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I did have a period of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make the bed every day, and I'm gonna put these all these
I have it
cushions up.
about once a year,
Yeah,
usually in spring.
it didn't last, and like there's some people in this world who like you have to make your bed every day, and other
Mm,
people who go, oh, what's the point in making your bed because you're just gonna unmake it when you get into it. I
mm-hmm.
like try and do something in between where I don't fully make sure everything's all tucked in, and
Mm.
I just sort of try and make sure the duvet is mostly over the bed and the pillows are in the right place, but like it's not like a neat job. It's sort of ready to get into bed. And I'll probably, if I knew I had people coming over, I will make the bed and be like,
Yeah,
oh
if I knew
yeah.
people come over, yeah, yeah, I feel that.
And that's not even the bed that the other person's going to sleep in. It'll be my bed as well. And it's like, oh yes, I'm such a functional human being. Um,
Kat, we've got to talk about this. What the hell's going on over there?
I don't fucking know. I've been caught. Oh, this is really bad. This morning I started calling Pippin dildo. I used to call Pegbo Slaggins. Um, Pegbo Slaggins and dildo.
I love it. I love it.
And he is being a
Hashtag
bit of a
exposed.
dildo at the moment.
Oh
Dolly,
my
lie
god.
down. Right. Shall we talk about Coldplay?
Before you do, I should cover it because obviously people will have noticed them. This week, actually you won't have seen it. I have painted my nails black. So here they
Oh,
are. I've gone for black this week. Um, Basically, ever since Kat
yeah,
bought
I
me the
started
thing,
this.
I've been dabbling. I've been trying to like spice up my life a little bit. I'm trying to like do it, and I won't lie to you. There is something quite relaxing about doing your nails. Um, like I just sit here and I'm like, oh, just paint over that one. Yep. Just a little. I quite enjoy it. It's quite a therapeutic kind of thing. So I've been, mixing it up a little bit. I
You
started
pulled off
off
the
with this.
turquoise. That
Thank
was
you.
nice.
Yes, I was just going to show everyone that I had this one. This is Essie mint candy apple. This is
Oh,
mint candy apple. It's very nice. Very very nice. So that was that one. I did have this like yellow orange kind of one
oh,
that I
cool.
was doing. But it doesn't look as good when you put it on as I thought it would. It's a little bit too orangey for me.
What
So
formula are you going for at the moment? Are you going for like a gel or a sheen? You're going like
well, I don't really know anything about anything.
okay.
So well, currently I've just gone for like I think these two have just been normal ones. And then the black one I bought is like kind of like a gel.
But have you
I
got more compliments on your nails then
I
since?
have actually. I
Oh,
have. Someone was like, "Oh, you've done really well. This looks so good." I was like, "Thank you. Thanks so much." I just feel like um it kind of comes out of what we were, when we were talking about it in when we saw Coldplay, wink,
oi oi.
almost a segue, and we're talking about how like I was, I was like, I feel like as a man you're not normally meant to do shit like this from a masculinity point of view,
Yeah,
um, but also it's not really a big deal, and it's like a nice way of, I think it almost is able to show that you're confident about things like your
gender and
sexuality, your gender
sexuality.
identity, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Because like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't care that traditionally this is seen as a feminine thing or whatever. Like, think what you think. I'm just trying to like, I don't know, just try something. I don't know.
I said to you at Coldplay. I think if I saw um some guy with nail polish on, I would actually feel safer. Like I know that sounds silly, but if there was some guy who was quite close to me in public, walking at the same pace, that always, like, is a bit
Yeah.
unsettling. And then if I looked over and saw they had their nails like multicolored, I'd be like, oh, we're safe here. Like,
Mm,
not like 100% like let your guard down, but I would definitely feel a bit more comfortable because
yeah.
I would think, okay, they're not gonna murder me or worse with multicolored nails.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Obviously, when the multicolored nail murderer does kill you, I'm gonna have to fix that one. But anyway, should we talk about Coldplay?
Yeah,
We-
memes. It's like 2 weeks ago now, is it? 2 weeks,
It's about
nearly.
2 weeks ago. It's about 2 weeks ago.
It's
I
so like surreal, isn't it? Like,
It
oh,
is. This is the thing. I've been trying to like explain it, and I really can't. I really struggle to explain it
it feels like a
because
dream.
yes,
It,
exactly that.
yeah.
Exactly that.
It
You've
feels like
nailed
it
it.
was ages ago, but also like yesterday. And I know that's probably a really annoying thing to say, but like, it just, yeah, it was really, and I think we both needed it as well. I think we both had a sort of, not anything dramatic, but a little bit of a rough time. And then, yeah, when Coldplay came along and um,
I drove to Cats, and Piers then drove us down to London. Obviously, me being me, I was running slightly late because I managed to get stuck in about just every. You know when you're driving and you're like, if nothing happens, this will be an easy run, and
yeah,
immediately some old woman starts driving in front of you or something, and you're like,
great.
please go above 20 miles an hour. Please, you have to do this for me.
It's
Um,
probably Pierce's mum.
it's probably Pierce's mum. It's probably Pierce's mum. But got there eventually. We then Piers drove us down. I was a little bit worried because it had been a heat wave like the week before, and
Yeah.
we drove and it was like torrential rain as we were driving down. Full
Yes.
on like insanity. There were floods in some places, and we got down there. We took our Toffees branded ponchos and got into the stadium. Cat nearly started a fight with a guy because they'd come they'd come in like looking like nice, whatever. But obviously it was
Yeah.
fucking chucking it down. And
They were
like
wearing sort of like business wear, like
they
one.
were.
It was a bit bizarre. Like
It's
there
like us
were
sat there like drenched rats in our ponchos like
with like three coats on. Like,
It was fucking
um,
crazy. So they were like trying to, because we were just literally just where the like there's like an overhanging bit, and so it like overhangs and provides a little protection from the rain. We were just underneath it, kind of like literally on the edge. And
yeah.
they were like, oh, can I just get in there? Can I just actually I think they pushed in
They
first of all,
pushed in. Yeah.
and Kat turned around to them and was like, excuse me, this is the we're all waiting, and they're like, no, we're just trying to get
They had
in the show.
umbrellas.
They had
That
umbrellas,
that
which is
that was the
stupid.
thing
I
that.
know they had umbrellas because they kept hitting everyone on the heads with them.
Yeah, this was the thing. There was about six of them, and
Mm.
like we were all queued up for the turnstiles. They said that the gates were going to open at 5, I think,
Yeah, they
and
did.
it the gates didn't actually open at 5. They opened slightly later, so there was a little bit of a queue, like nothing major.
No, no.
But yeah, so we were in this queue, and like they were sort of lingering around with the umbrellas, and then they didn't really make eye contact with anyone when they walked in, and there was us and I think two ladies in front of us,
Oh yeah, our
and
friends in the queue.
our friend, yeah, and they were sort of smirking and stuff. And like for a second, I thought, oh, I don't want to embarrass Chris by like saying what
I
the fuck
saw
is
it on
these
your
guys.
face. I saw you thinking, is this worth it?" And then you
Yeah,
decided, yes, it is worth it. And I actually thought, I think it's worth it as well.
I thought like we've got seats, so I'm not that worried about where we're going to be. But it was just more the fact that you've walked with your umbrellas, you're smacking everyone with your umbrellas. There's just no sort of awareness, and I was just a bit like, we're here for a good time. I'm not going to like cause a big scene, but also like, what are you doing? And the
I think
guy
you did it very
says,
well.
yeah, I don't think I
It wasn't overly
initially.
aggressive, but it was also like, don't take the piss here.
Yeah. Um, and they said, "Oh, like we're not gonna push in front of you. Like, we'll go in after you." The guy was sort of like promising that, like, "Oh yeah, I'm not here to push in front." And we were just like, "Whatever." I
I was
wasn't
like,
at.
clearly not. I like was keeping my eye on them because I was like, you're gonna fuck me over. I can tell.
And so us and the people in front, we all just went, "Oh yeah, that their little comment about waiting has gone out the
Mm.
fucking window." Um, but then yeah, Chris, do you want to say about the next bit? Because it's quite
Well,
funny.
it was just I saw them and like when the gates finally opened and everyone starts going in, they looked as if they were gonna start going in, and so
Yeah,
I
they
just said to
did.
Kat like, oh, here they go, here it is, and then to be fair to them, the guy turned around, found us, and was like, said to his like little group, was like, no, no, they need to go first. They were here before us, and like held them back. And even because I ended up a little bit behind you because some dickhead pushed in front of me. Um, and but he was like, no, no, hang on, we'll wait for him, we'll wait for him. Like, very fair. And I was like, to be fair to you, I wasn't expecting you to do that.
No,
I wasn't
I
expecting
was
you to
not
do that.
either.
So you got
It
fair
kind of made
play.
me laugh. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit like fair play, and like even as you said when you like, I think he said something like sorry, and you were like, yeah, no, don't worry, no hard feelings, don't worry about it. So that's a little awkward, and we got in, got our like wristbands and stuff. Uh, went and eventually found our seats. Sat down. Obviously, they come in and
oh
and
god.
initially they sit on the end of our row, and we're like, oh
Oh my
fuck
fucking
me.
god, as if like this little awkward encounter and they're definitely going to be sat next to us. Like, just kill
I joked
me.
about it, and I was like, "Oh, imagine if they sit next to us." And then they started sitting next to us. And I was like, "No, no, 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 no."
I mean, it was just a bit funny and a bit weird, but like, um, yeah, it was just an interesting start to it, and it was, oh, it's pissing it down. I felt so sorry for the
Yeah,
first act. Um, Something in the machine.
I'm
Um,
just double checking now. I'm gonna say it wrong, but I'm gonna say Ibibo sound machine.
that's it. Sound machine. Yeah,
But they were fucking awesome.
we were in love. Yeah, that was. Bear in mind, like I'll set the scene. So it's pissing it down. We
Mm.
are covered. We're not getting rained on at this point. We're safe. And but for the stage, so you know how like with the main act, they always have all their stuff at the back, and then normally the support acts have their setups in front, so they can just wheel their shit off, and Coldplay are like ready to go without having to move a load of stuff on and off. What they had done is they'd set up a bunch of gazebos, like 3 or 4 gazebos in a row, and they had the first act. Which I mean, how many people would you say was in that band? Maybe like 5 people.
Um, yeah, 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Yeah, that sounds about right. And it's torrential rain. Like the gazebos are sort of like filling with water. It's all like spilling everywhere. And the front woman, did you catch her name? Because I didn't.
I'm literally just looking it up now. Her name is Eno Williams.
No, she had this like really nice makeup and eyeliner on, and this sort of yellowy gold. She had like a cloak on at one point, didn't she?
Oh, she fully was like, she looks brilliant.
She looked great, and she had heels on, and she's walking up and down like the sort of runway bit, where it's pissing down with rain on her. She's got her microphone wrapped in a towel. Her whole makeup stays put, so like fair play to whoever did her
Absolutely
fucking makeup.
perfect, yeah.
It was beautiful, and she's literally going across the stage soaked in these heels, and she just was smiling so much the whole time. Like she genuinely made us forget about the rain. Like it was just so positive, and it wasn't
Absolutely.
like, oh yeah, this is I finally get to support Coldplay, and then it rains. Like she was still seeing the positive of it, and we had such a boogie.
Alright, Pippin. You good there, bud?
Oh, it's Peg actually whining. Pippin's asleep. He's doing
Oh.
good. Peg, go lie down.
Stood outside, we were a little bit anxious about, or I was certainly anxious because I wasn't getting the rate. I was a little bit worried because I was like, I'm not feeling it at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling as excited as I thought I would feel. And I think it's because I was just like, I was a little bit anxious when I think. But actually, when they did their set, I
Mm.
started getting that feeling of like, this is going to be good. This is going to be a good night. Because it was just so like energetic and powerful. And it's like, it didn't matter that the rain was like coming down, all that stuff. It was like actually just so much fun and so much like just color. I felt they literally brought
Yes.
color into it, and it was
Yeah.
like, all right, let's go. Like this is good. This is good. It actually kick-started that feeling I think that I needed. So I absolutely loved them. I think like we we'll definitely talk about some of their music at some point because it was
I was going to put it into the
amazing.
podcast and then I just completely
I
forgot to
forgot
do it
about it
this
this
week.
week. Same. But I definitely
Yeah.
will. Um,
Um,
incredible.
yeah, I could not have anything negative to say. Like, it was such a positive experience, and but it made me laugh with the rest of the band because they just looked so chill. They just looked like they were playing down the pub, like
One
just
hundred
having a
percent.
great time, just
And they're
so
playing
relaxed.
Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, they're playing Wembley Stadium, and they're just there like no sign of any like anxiety, any like they just went for it. And I guess maybe it probably wasn't their first night or something, so but
Yeah.
even still, I think I'd be shitting myself every single night. I'd be
100%.
fully panicking. And they were just there having fun, jamming out,
Yeah.
and I just so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was, yeah, I think like definitely I felt the same as you in the fact I was a bit I wasn't I wasn't feeling it originally, you know, I just it hadn't the with Coldplay like the excitement hadn't kicked in.
Mm,
Um you know how with Christmas when you're a kid you're excited for weeks. You're
mm.
like, "Oh my god, it's going to be Christmas." And then you can't sleep and then you wake up and you're all excited. Like sometimes you get that with gigs, and sometimes you don't. And I was like, I better get this feeling. And then as soon as um, they came on, it was just it suddenly was like, oh yeah, no, like the positive feelings are here. Like this is gonna be good. This is gonna be fun.
Definitely.
But up until that point, yeah, like I said, like you said, it was a bit. Yeah, you know, there was a lot. There was a very high expectation from both of us going
Mm.
into it. So you know, and you're
For
like,
me, Coldplay have been my favorite band for over 10 years, easily.
yeah,
And like I really love their music. I'm not ashamed. There are obviously songs that I'm less keen on, as is the way. But on the whole, they remain my favorite band. They have made some of my favorite songs ever.
yeah.
And it was the first chance I'd ever got to see them. And I
Yeah.
was like really like a little bit worried. I was like, you know,
What
if
if they're
I can't,
shit?
yeah, it was like, yeah, what if it's a shit night? What if I don't enjoy it? What if, and like, I think I try not to put things on a pedestal too much, but I was just really like, oh God, what if what if I built it up to be something it's not going to be? So I was
Yeah,
quite worried. I was really quite worried. Um, yeah.
I definitely get that. Oh, okay. So we'll move on to the next. So there was two support acts and then
Yes,
Coldplay. And the second act was her,
it was.
and I had heard of her. This is going to get so confusing. I had heard of her a few times, but I'd never really uh, gave her a full gave gave her a full listen, or there was no sort of chance for me to really get into her. And this woman is a fucking musical genius. I'm just
My God.
just saying it, like just saying it as it is. Like honestly, I'm mesmerized, genuinely.
Mm.
Um, we were sort of jamming. We did go and get a drink, sort of halfway through her set, just because we knew it was going to get busy for Coldplay and stuff, and we knew
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Wii as well. Which, oh my god, any female or person who uses female toilets at stadium concerts, my God, what is the queuing process about? How? I guess the thing is, they put a certain amount of toilets in per people, but the thing is, I guess the thought process is like, oh yeah, there's enough toilets, but everyone always goes to the toilet at the same time
That's the
because
thing,
if
isn't it?
it's
Yeah.
like football, it's half time, everyone's going. So it's, and guys, not being funny, like you just whack your willy out, pee for 30 seconds and wash your hands and go. Like,
Some people don't even wash their hands.
yeah, exactly. Um, but it's a very, I'd say, like for most guys, it's sort of like under a 2-3 minute
Yeah,
experience.
it
Whereas
can
with
be a quite it's rare that you find a queue for the men's toilets.
yeah,
Because either you get a cubicle or you go to the urinal and you'll just whack your willies out and you're all there staring directly forwards, desperately not making eye contact with anyone.
there are certain aspects, like obviously if you're on your period, that takes
Oh yes.
longer. Um, I think if you're wearing like a bodysuit or something, there's a lot more faffing around of actually being able to. Oh, the worst thing in the world is, some people will understand this pain. I don't think you will, Chris, but when you've had a drink and you really need a fucking wee, and then you're wearing like a bodysuit or like two bodysuits, which I've done before, and you've got
Two
trousers.
bodysuits.
Yeah, because I've got like a mesh bodysuit and just sort of like a normal black
Um,
one. So you wear the normal black one under the mesh one or over the top of the mesh one, whatever.
mm.
Um, and then trousers, whatever. And so you're there, like it's not so much the unbuttoning because that's you know you just pull and you're good to go. It's the doing it up. Sometimes I put my leg up on the fucking toilet door, like please let the lock the lock work while I'm like
Can
reaching
you
down
imagine
to
you just
my
push the
crotch.
door open?
I would cry, like trying to do up my crotch buttons. And I think then there's obviously some women will be like doing them touching up their makeup or whatever, so taking up sink space.
Yes.
Um, and I don't know, the whole process just takes a bit longer.
I always look
Um,
at it and I'm just like, I don't know,
yes,
having only been in the male toilets, whether female toilets are the same like size. But it always feels to me like women's toilets should be, is in the room itself, should be bigger.
yeah,
Like,
because
you
you
want to
can
get
only
more
get
cubicles in that room. You have
yeah.
to get more sinks in that room just to be able to deal with the like the demand. The demand is higher. We've probably got to double the size of all female toilets, um, to be able to deal with the high demand. And I think that will solve a lot of problems for a lot
And
of people.
I've contemplated going into the men's before, but when I have been in the men's loos, they've been fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
The
I wouldn't come in.
stench, and it's
Yeah,
just like I'd rather give myself a UTI than go in
yeah,
there. So like
yeah. I'm not going to tell you the stories, but let's just say that you don't want to go in there.
it's always rank. You know, I just don't get how like. I just don't get how men like as a not I'm not oh god this is gonna sound really bad but like based on public men like male and female toilets, how the male toilets are always disgusting in comparison to females. They will be getting cleaned the same amount. Like, you know, you're not going to get a cleaner to just clean the women's or just clean the men's. Like, the toilets will be cleaned the same amount of time. So, how is it that the men just make it so fucking grim? I don't.
I mean, it's not entirely related to it, but I will say, um, I have watched men wash their hands. That sounds like an odd sentence to say, but stick with it.
Okay.
And I let's put it like this: when COVID first came about, and there was a big focus on making sure that you wash your hands for 30 seconds or whatever, and really,
Yeah.
you go through the whole thing, happy birthday twice, whatever, and you make sure you do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good idea, not even just from a COVID perspective, but a good idea in that there are men out there who needed to hear that. Because the amount of men who wash their hands by turning on the water and giving it, like they kind of, you have to imagine that as if they move their hands through briefly. They
Yeah.
just pass the water over the top, and that'll do. That's got the germs off. They might dry their hands, or they might just like shake them slightly and be like, "Yep, that'll do." Um, but that's it. And I just I always look at it and think, you just at the bare minimum, you pulled out your willy and
Yeah,
sat
you
there and had a
touched your
wee,
winkle.
and I can't be entirely sure that everything's 100% clean. At worst, you've done a little bit more than that. That makes it sound dirty. You've had a shit, or something. Like, please have the common decency to wash your hands. Please,
Yeah.
you're gonna end up holding a handrail or opening a door or something.
Oh, and you've just
Other
touched your
people
dick.
have to
Ugh.
use that, okay? Just
Ugh.
be fucking decent for once.
Yeah.
I cannot. So these people make me want to burn everything. So there's that. Yeah. So men's toilets are disgusting. I think if the way you wash your hands is in any way indicative of the way you use the toilet, it's no surprise that men's toilets
Yeah,
are so
okay.
disgusting.
That makes sense. I understand that now.
Fucking vile. Anyway.
Oh, so that was why we sort of like we had a slight like detour during her set.
Yes.
But when we got back, this woman, she is fucking doing some mad guitar solos while singing, while walking up and down the runway. But I'm gonna call it a runway bit because like I don't really know what else to call it. I feel like runway is appropriate.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I turned to Chris and I was like, the way she played acoustic guitar at one point, and her rhythm, I was like, this woman, she's got, because you can play acoustic guitar well, but there's something about the way she was playing that I was like, this woman could drum, like she could drum,
And she
like,
was very tight with the rhythm. It was very like she
yeah,
had that rhythm down like
the accents
perfect.
were in the right place, and it was just very like the feel was very strong. Like she could be a session musician for guitar or what. I mean, she is, but you know what I mean. And so I like turned to Chris. I'm like, yeah, she can definitely play drums. Like she like or could play drums. Next thing we know, she's fucking on the drum kit
She's
halfway
playing
through.
drums. Just appears
like,
on the drums.
Wow.
And doing well. Like not just there having a little like I would do, making a noise. Properly doing it.
There was no sort of awkward moment of where the drummer wasn't drumming and she was. It was seamless. Like you wouldn't be able to tell. Oh, and the other thing, just what I remember about her set, was a 17-year-old kid who came on and his voice was just
God. Insane.
Like, I said to myself that I was gonna check him out when I got back to see if he'd released any of his own music, but I haven't yet. So I need to do some research on that because I can't believe he was 17. His voice was so like soulful. Oh, and his voice also reminded me a bit of Labyrinth.
Yes, that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, so a bit of Labyrinth, but then sort of with the ranginess and the little riffs and stuff of maybe someone like Sam Smith, and that was just really, I don't know, just really nice. I just
And yeah, the fact that she went from playing, she was singing, she managed to do rhythm guitar, she was fucking shredding, like doing some full on like lead stuff. She was drumming. Like, I think I turned to Kat as like she's like, I don't mean to sound stupid or undermine anything. A proper like musician. Like,
yeah.
You can only use the word musician because, like, she just everything she picks up, mastered it.
Yeah.
Absolutely was just straight in. No, like, just the ability to just switch, play something else and just switch is incredible. And I definitely was just everything, the confidence, the like energy. It was the perfect like. It was a perfect follow on from the band before, and the perfect setup for Coldplay. Because it just kept that energy going. And by the time that she'd finished, I was like, I'm definitely feeling it. That buzz, that like good feeling. Like this is definitely gonna be a good night. There's no more doubts. I was fully ready for Coldplay to come out and go.
It
Um,
taught me something as well in the sense that I probably wouldn't have put those two acts as necessarily being support for Coldplay, because
no,
normally when you think of a support act, you put two people who are of a similar genre, or like if you've got a rock band, you might have a singer songwriter doing the opener and then maybe like an indie rock band as the main
mm,
support. But these like their openers, they were very sort of, maybe Her was more slightly similar to Coldplay, but the genres were quite different. But I think Coldplay, you've got, we noticed when we were there, the fan base is such a range of people. It's like one of the most diverse audiences I've ever been in. One minute you're seeing like granny and grandpa, and then you're seeing a bunch of roadmen. It just genuinely, and like all different nationalities, just it was so diverse. So I guess when they were booking, I'm guessing that like Coldplay had picked sort of artists that they like instead of
yeah,
it being like a management decision. But
yeah,
I think the reason they got away with it is based on the energy that they brought with the acts. So even
yeah,
though they weren't the same genre, they definitely had that same um colourful, that's the
mm.
word you use, like colourful feel.
I think
um
also it's the opportunity of, again, and whether you like Coldplay or not, they are one of the biggest bands in the world. People know them by name alone, and they know that their tour is going to sell extremely well. I found out that ours was one of the extra nights, by the way. Um, like they sold out and had to add extra nights to the tour all over the place.
yeah,
They're doing it. They've got another tour, or they're continuing the tour next year. Same thing again, like instantly sold out. Had to add extra nights and things. Um, but they have this big platform, and it's like you could ask anyone in the world probably, "Hey, do you want to come and like support us?" And you could have like an all-star support act thing. And
yeah,
I really respect the fact that they used the opportunity to find some people that maybe you don't listen to, you know? Like maybe this is something you don't listen to but you might like. And I don't think I'd heard of either of them before. You know, maybe it broadens things a little and it makes you go, "Oh, I've not thought about listening to this." And it introduces you into this new kind of thing. So I definitely respect that they went a little bit out there and picked something that maybe you haven't listened to, and something that isn't necessarily the same, but thinking about Coldplay as like the music they've made, they kind of dips their toe into lots of genres over the kind of years. So
yeah,
it entirely, I get it, and I really thought their works were brilliant. I really did.
yeah. Oh
And
wait,
then
sorry. I was
the
playing with a
main event,
needle. I got distracted. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This
the
this
main
little this
event.
little bit. Shit me. I was embarrassed for like everyone surrounding me, because I mean, like I think we were definitely the biggest diehard fans in our little section,
Yeah,
just from the way everyone was acting.
yeah.
I start fucking. I don't. I'm not a public crier. I don't know what
She's not.
happened, but I just started bawling from like the moment they came on for probably like 15 minutes straight. Even when they did the like little global warming, like all the people they were um, sponsoring in terms of reforestation and um, recycling and all of this different cool stuff. I'm just fucking sobbing, like ugly crying, like boo hoo, could not stop. Don't like you don't know what possessed me for the beginning of that set.
I genuinely believe that the only thing that stopped me doing the same thing was the fact that the antidepressants make it difficult for me to cry.
It was probably
Insane.
a good thing that you were slightly more together, because it encouraged me to sort myself out a bit. Whereas if you were boo-hooing as well, I just don't think we would have even been able to enjoy the concert, because it just be like, I can't see, there's too many tears coming out of my face.
Absolute insanity. They just, yeah, they did the thing at the start explaining how they're trying to make the tour sustainable, which I thought this is really good. Like it's not, like I said to Kat, it's like it's not that you're looking at this and going, ah, yeah, it's a net zero kind of thing, but
Yeah,
they're making a real effort with this actually, and I respect that they're showing that these things that you can do. So I really respect it. I was like, this is a good way of showing that you can do these things and be more conscious about it. That was really emotional. And then
I was
when they
so proud
came
to be
out,
a Coldplay fan at that
yes,
moment. Like,
yes, you're exactly right. It was like I feel good that because they the way they say it is like you've helped support these things. And I was like, all I've done is buy a ticket. You've done the hard work, but
yeah,
I'm proud that you've done this. I'm proud
yeah,
that it absolutely you're doing the right thing, and I can't fault you on that at all. So that was amazing. And yeah, when they came out, um, it really hit me. The second they started playing, I was like, there it is.
there's
There's
that
that
feeling that
feeling.
you've been
There's
waiting
that
for.
there's that 10-year-old, 11-year-old Chris
Oh,
ready to go. I've absolutely felt it. It was just like genuinely, I'm not exaggerating, electric kind of feeling of it just all came together and it was just incredible. I genuinely, trying to describe it makes me feel like I'm in a dream.
yeah.
And I'm not
It,
exaggerating. It was so just
I
a
think anyone
solid,
who's been to a Coldplay show would realize as well that it's not like. Obviously, I go to a lot of gigs, I go to a lot of festivals, and occasionally you get these one-off bands that put on, like Muse, for example. They put so much into their live shows that you've got with Coldplay, you've got the wristbands that change in colours and like creating different patterns, and there's fireworks going on, there's screens having different images. With Coldplay, they have different themes for like their different albums and different songs. So it's it's like a 4D experience as well as a music concert, like music concert. There's so much going on.
it's
It's
so
not just
immersive.
one. Yeah,
I've heard people say it before to me, people who've seen them, and whether they've liked Coldplay or not, they all actually agree that they put on a good show.
yeah,
And it sounds dumb to say that a band who've been doing it a long time, but they really can put on a good show.
yeah. And it's there's no sort of awkward moments. There, the people introducing them were that was quite funny.
Yes.
These two women come on and the we all got excited thinking, oh, okay, the band are about to walk on stage and stuff, and they were just there to say about the sustainability or something, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a bit like you've got sort of two mums walking on like we would now like to introduce Coldplay. We'd like to
It was
introduce
so
Chris Martin,
weird.
Will and Guy, and just like just just got me off like caught me off
Fucking
guard.
bizarre. But I loved it, and
It
yeah,
was really wholesome.
it was, and like, there was definitely we're all kind of vibing to it. I liked the in, was it Sky Full of Stars? Yeah, Sky Full of Stars, when they said he started playing and then halfway through was like, no, no, hang on a second. And
Oh yeah,
they were like, can we do for one song, no phones, no anything, people just 100% singing. And I was like, to be like, I'd taken a fair few pictures and videos and things because I was like, I don't want to miss this. I don't want to I want to have this to look back on.
yeah.
But
I
they
feel
were
the
like,
same.
can you? And I was like, fair play. Yep, I agree. And just fully lost in it, all jumping and the lights and things. It was good moments, everyone just fully gone for it. And to be fair, I did notice that song everyone was singing. It was
Mm.
properly the whole stadium was there. And I think the thing that I just loved is that with the crowd there was no dramas. There was no, everyone was actually fairly respectful of each other, leaving. It wasn't
No, there was no sort of pushing and shoving, and
there was no one who was coming, they were massively drunk or whatever and had the wrong vibe. It was just I
I
really
felt
was
very safe.
yeah, I did. It's the first I really solidly felt I was just around people. I was like, we're all just here in this moment, just doing it, enjoying it, taking a little break from the shit that is the outside world. And oh, it's just incredible. It I couldn't have really imagined what it was going to be like, and it just it hit everything for me. I was just on absolute high.
it
They pulled
was.
some guy out from the
Oh
crowd.
yeah, Scott.
I didn't
Was it
tell you
Scott?
about this. I think it was
Oh
Scott.
what?
Now, here's the weirdest thing. Go with me on this one. Well,
Oh my
okay.
god. I'm so
I'm ready to
excited.
first of all. First of all, we went to the 42nd show of this tour, which I was
Woo!
like 42, significant
42.
way.
Oi 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 oi.
A beautiful coincidence. And also, they pulled someone up from the audience to play O or Fly On, depending on which,
Yeah,
however you want to call it.
I've always called it O, but I think
Yeah,
most people say fly on.
I always call it O. But so they were, and this guy, Nathaniel, messaged me the next day. He goes or went to Nathaniel's church. Nathaniel knows
Fuck
him
off.
and went to something with him recently. What was it he said? He was at a wedding with him earlier in the summer,
Oh
and he's
wow.
played music with him a couple of times.
That's so
Um,
weird.
and I was like, "You're telling me that I went to I went to a show with this group of people who I've never known, I've never met before, and one of them just happens to be someone who like you're kind of friends with."
Yeah.
Fuck me, that's ridiculous. But it was just like
He was so
insane,
sweet,
like
bless
thing.
him.
Oh, he was. He nailed it.
He did
I
so
would have
good.
fucked up.
I
He
would have
went
like
there.
shit myself. Like,
Yeah. Well, it was weird because he started off playing Speed of Sound.
oh
Chris
yeah,
did, I mean, and then got halfway
he
through
had
and was
his
like, "No,
moment.
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it." Yeah, it wasn't working out. And so he just pulled out. I was like, "This is brilliant
Do you know what
and
the
awesome."
that when he was playing Speed of Sound, he had no backing track,
Mm,
and it was him. You could hear him messing up little,
mm,
messing up with a couple of notes, and sort of the timing was a little off. But the thing is, to do that with no, you're playing a Wembley Stadium, to do that with no backing track, like nothing, that shows that you're a very like comfortable and confident musician, and
mm.
when it wasn't working out, he stopped. He didn't just force through it. He wasn't feeling it, and he got somebody else to join him. Like he made the best out of a not like difficult situation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, I actually didn't think it was. I was quite enjoying it. I was like,
I
"Oh,
was
I'm
enjoying
quite
it, and I
enjoying it."
liked the mistakes
Yeah.
because it showed that it was
It's human.
you were hearing real
Yeah.
music. And at the end, when they got the one of the women from All Saints to come
Mm,
and sing, you could tell that it was like they hadn't sat there and rehearsed it a billion times. They probably had like one or two little run throughs in the dressing rooms or something, and just went for it, and it felt very much like you were in their humongous living room.
yes.
um,
Yes, exactly. I
it was
think
very
I just loved that
welcoming.
it felt like their priority was to make it a good um show
Yeah,
for the audience. Like there are some bands whatever I haven't really been to any, but I've seen like performances and it's like you're here for the paycheck, nothing more, nothing less. Like
Van Morrison.
you're here because you get the money and you're just like what's the football phrase, whatever, like walking it in kind of thing. You're just there, you're just doing it, you're just like, yeah, it'll be done. It actually felt like the whole point of it was we love doing this and we want you to enjoy this, and if it's not going right, we just won't we'll try something else. We want you to have a good night, and yeah, crazy, loved
Yeah.
it. I cannot put it
What
into words.
other moments were there? I mean, oh, okay. So Fix You, right? So Fix You. A lot of people have a connection to this song. And like for me, I don't know if you have the same memory, but like when we were leaving school that day, um, we both just had a very difficult day, and we were just listening to Fix You in Chris's mum's car, and we were just driving back, just both of us just crying. And I just, for some reason, like the music video for Fix You is just us like sobbing in your mum's Picasso. Was it Picasso?
Probably, probably.
Um, and I don't know that it for some reason. Oh, I don't know why I said I don't know. I know why. It's a bloody brilliant song lyrically and all that, but it just with Fix You, it just immediately sort of makes my heart weak. And
Yeah.
but I was really worried about hearing it live because I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna be so fucking depressed. And it was a really positive sort of version. Like, it sounds weird because it was still the same song, um, but they just made a few tweaks to sort of make it uplifting instead of like let's go home and all kill ourselves, which I was grateful for because I, you know,
I
don't want to
agree, and
die.
I think it's Sorry, I just remembered.
Oh my god, you little bastard! I know what you're gonna say.
They played Sparks, which is a song from their first album.
You always killed me in this moment.
And it was quite an emotional thing. We were like swaying, all that kind of thing. And I was like,
It was near
I
the
really
end.
wanted to explain how sweet this is to Kat. And so I just looked over and I was just like, I'm really fucking glad I didn't kill myself now. And she looked at me for a split second, shocked, and then fucking lost it. And I just I don't know why it happened. I don't know why I said that of all
it was
things
the
in that
fact you
moment.
said something like, "Oh yeah, I'm really proud that I didn't kill myself now."
Yeah.
Just like
I was like, I don't know why I said it like that. Why did I say that sentence? Why is that the one I went for? And I was just
it
such
was
a.
so it was such a Preston Payne moment. Like
It really was.
it
It
was just
really
very
was.
funny, and everyone else is all swaying, and I'm just fucking laughing and crying simultaneously. Like it was, yeah, it was
It
so
was
funny.
ridiculous. It was, the whole thing just was, like,
It was magic. Oh yeah.
it was magic. I can't really do it justice of explaining it, but it really just, yeah, it was such a good experience. I have an unrelated tangent.
Oh yeah, hit me up.
Well, I remember I was going to tell you about the dream I had that
Oh
really.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it went a bit Inception style, to be honest with you. Um, so I was
Oh my
having
god.
like this really scary nightmare, really just terrifying, like horrible, and I was just going on and on, and and then I woke up from this nightmare, and I looked over, and I was like hooked up to this machine, and I was like, what in this shit is this? And I'm like, we've been using your nightmares to power this thing.
Oh my god, that is
I was like,
terrifying.
you've been doing what? It's like, yeah, we've been using your nightmares because it's giving us energy to power this thing. I was like, fuck are you doing that? I'm getting out of it. I'm like, no. You need to go back and have another one. I was like, you want me to have another nightmare? I'm not doing that. And so they ended up like drugging me or whatever in this dream. Had another nightmare, woke up and I was like, we're not fucking doing this. This is ridiculous. Like, and I remember just like pulling out the like wires and everything. And I did that and then actually woke up. And then I was just like, huh? What just happened? Did I just. And I was just fully confused. And I was almost a little bit like, is this a dream? Is this. Is this another layer of the dream? Is this a
Oh my
dream within a
god.
dream within a dream? I was fully just sat there like,
That's so disorientating. Like,
what's happening? Am I actually awake? And it really fucking threw me, and it just completely like the nightmare was quite scary, and I was like, my brain was so active that it within a dream created another dream, which was terrifying. And then I
that's
woke up from that dream into something which was also quite unpleasant, and then woke up
nice.
into reality. Okay, well that was that, and it was I just thought I'd share that with you. I just thought I'd share
No,
that with you.
that is proper fucked up. I think those types of dreams can sometimes be worse than the straightforward one. You know when you like have a dream that you've been murdered or something, and
Mm.
then you wake up and you're like, oh, I wasn't murdered. Oh well. Like
I'd
it's
rather
not
just have
that
had the nightmare.
traumatizing. Yeah. Then the having some weird like when it's sort of hyper realistic, like, oh yeah, I
Mm.
crashed my car or something that could have realistically happened. You wake up and you're like, or I've had dreams where I've smashed my phone, and
Mm.
then I've gone to like order a new screen protector or like gone to order whatever, and then being like, wait, there's no cracks on my phone. Oh, that was a dream. And they're quite straightforward, but like the Inception type ones that you've just said about that's
So
fucking
fucking
hardcore. And it takes you a
weird.
few days to get over, I think, as
Yeah, I'm
well.
still not really over it. I'm still half expecting like to look around in a minute and see some weird fucking machine kind of thing. It sounds dumb. It sounds insane, but very fucking weird. Very fucking weird. All right, let's do music.
Music. Okay, I've got my notes. My phone. Okay, so I'm using my laptop as a tripod at the moment for my phone. And it's on
Perfect.
like 20% at the moment. So if it does start running out, I might have to plug it in. So I'll just give you a little shout if that happens.
All right.
Could we start with one of yours, if you do not
We
mind?
can. I would love to.
I was thinking about starting with Roots by Snowflake.
Oh, okay.
Because, right, so I was listening to this, and this is going to sound really fucking random. Have you played SimCity or City Skylines? Like,
Yeah.
I swear, this is so random. It sounds like when you're sort of in build mode for that. This
Yeah,
song.
fair.
And
No,
I
I see
don't know
that.
if there is like maybe it is used in a game and I am remembering it from that. But it's so like atmospheric and cool and stuff, and I just was like, this seems really familiar to me, and I don't think I've ever heard this song like before. So do you know what I mean? Like where it feels
Yeah.
familiar, like have I heard this in an advert or something? But yeah, I don't. How did you find this song? I want to know.
I actually found it on a Discover playlist, I think. One of my Spotify Discover playlists. I don't know why, because it's so like it's not really like anything I've listened to.
It's very sort of
Um
like improvised and there's a lot going on, but it's very sort of like unstructured, structured. It feels put together, but at the same time, like there's a little bit of improvisation and stuff going on. You know?
I try to put it in a genre and I can't. I
Yeah,
can't
no, I
because
wouldn't
it's
be
a
able to
weird
either.
fusion of like there's a jazz influence in there, but also it's not really jazz. It's got like the rhythms and things feel a bit like a little bit like R&B in a way inspired, like, and the
Yeah,
way it's just completely I cannot begin to put it into any kind of box. It's and I love that it's completely like dreamlike almost.
yes,
Like you just get fully lost in it. It's this fully like surrounding thing that just takes you on this little bit of an adventure. And there's all these things going on. You're just like, whoa, I feel a bit like, you know, having never been on any kind of real drugs, I can't really relate to that one. But I have to imagine it feels a bit like that, just like floaty kind of out of body kind of thing.
for sure.
And I love her voice. Her
Yes,
voice is incredibly like it's got this kind of I don't even know what you would call it. The timbre of it. There you go. Calming almost, I think.
yes.
Could almost if it's singing
I
me a
was trying to.
lullaby, I'd be like, yeah, I can just drift away on this. This is fine. This is fine.
I was trying to think of a word to describe, but it is actually quite difficult. And
Mm.
I was looking at my notes as well, and this week you have picked sort of female led vocals, and they've all got like different voices, but all
Mm.
have that very um I don't use it like the word wholesome again, but I feel like you would get what I mean by
Mm.
saying that like soulful or rich maybe.
Yes.
um and yeah, you're on a bit of a roll this week.
I fell in love with it. I listened to it. I was just like absolutely fell in love with it. I 100% I loved it. I thought it was a really great song.
Yeah,
I was fully just enjoying it, vibing. I'd never heard of Snow Poet before, but I'll listen some more to them. And
Guys, if
yeah.
you haven't thought about sync, get in there, get on some games.
Next time I used to load up City Skylines, I'm gonna be like, this doesn't sound. Oh, look at this! How has this got in
you
this game?
you understand like what I
I
mean.
love
Like I
City
don't know,
Skylines as well, so yeah, one hundred
you just
percent.
sort
I
of
get you.
drift off to it.
There you go.
Do you want to hit me up?
I will. I'm gonna hit you up with "Sold" by Lana Lubani.
Oh yes. So
Now, my God, this song.
it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's incredible. I can never think of the word. I think the word code switching is what I want to say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um, of like being able to swap between English and Arabic.
Yes.
Because there is quite a bit of that in the song, and I always love how like the ability to just to do that, to just like fuse the two and be able to switch easily between them
Yeah.
is
And make
is
it
something
sound
incredible.
like it's such a smooth transition. You
Mm,
sometimes don't necessarily clock that it's happened.
yeah,
And then you're like, I don't understand this language. Oh yeah, she's speaking another language.
yeah, exactly.
It's a very clever fusion of sort of like, American pop with then Arabic in, and it's so, and I think it starts off like her voice is just beautiful. Like I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Like beautiful, and then you get these different layers. You've got the sort of like syncopated percussion, and then you've got a random, like, well, it's not random, but like the bass drops, and you're like, whoa, this has now moved on to a bit more electronic-y, and it's still pop. The whole thing is still pop, but it feels fusion. It feels um like you're getting a lot in there. You're getting a lot in there, and it's really cool, and it's easy to listen to. Sometimes when people do fusion, it's hard work. You're there like, oh, I just want to sit there, and it might be a masterpiece, but sometimes you just want to drift off to music, and you can. Like, I think this is definitely a having a bop in your car type
Mm,
song as well.
mm.
So I think I don't know if you've noticed with a few of the songs I've been putting into the podcast like playlist recently, is I've really like songs that have got multiple languages in. It's funny
Yes,
because I can only speak one language, but like I just, yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say you've done it a couple of times, and it is like everything about it is like a fusion, but done in the right way. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that being someone who can kind of straddle the kind of things, connecting the two sides of like your identity and things, being able to draw on both of them, you kind of create something organically, which is a really brilliant fusion that works a lot better than if I tried to do it. For example, if I tried to write a song with Arabic influences in it and things, it probably wouldn't sound very good because I would end up leaning into stereotypes and cliches and like things, and it'd be like
Yeah.
it might sound alright, but like it's not. It's very surface level. It's very superficial. This is like definitely like a deeper thing of being able to just make it work seamlessly enough that you can go, oh, that's new, that's different, but also it makes sense, and it's like, yeah, okay, this makes sense of what's come before it. This is all flowing as one song. Um, I think she's really talented in that way.
Yes. 100%. I need to hit you up. What
I
am I
really
going to
went a
hit
bit
you up
deep on
with?
that. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's what we're here
Went
for.
went all in on that one, though. Phew.
I'm going to go with Fickle Friends,
All right,
because
nice.
over the years, this has been one of the bands that I've tried to see a few times, and it's never like worked out. Like
Oh,
they've
you
been
know
at a
this band?
festival. Yeah, so actually, funny enough, when I came to visit you and Katie in Birmingham in first year, they were playing in Birmingham, but um, I think doesn't the uni have some sort of festival on the green or something?
Yeah, yeah. We have Veil Fest.
Vale Fest, that's it. And I think they were playing there. Um,
Oh,
2017, maybe? I might be
yeah,
wrong.
that sounds yeah, 2017, 2018.
And I can't remember why, but dates didn't work out, or something didn't work out, and I didn't go. But they've always been sort of on my radar, and this was like really fun, energetic song from them,
Yes,
and just really really cool. Um,
absolutely.
it's very like very full sound, makes you want to move, ticks all the boxes of what genre would you say they are? Like pop indie
I don't.
alternative. It's a bit.
Yeah, it's
I
I
think.
saw someone compared it to Prince. They might have compared it to Prince themselves. And I haven't ever really listened to much Prince, but I've listened to a little bit. And
Yeah.
I 100% got that
I
kind of funky vibe.
yeah, because there is that bit of funk in there.
Yeah. It's very full on lyrically and thing, but also it's fun. Like it's very fun. Like
Yeah, I
it can be
literally put
quite
in my notes.
intense. Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say I put in my notes "fun!" exclamation mark. You know when I was
Yes.
saying earlier, like how some of my notes are normally like one word. I like fun. This
Yes.
definitely belongs. Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's like it's very like you listen to it and you're like, damn, this is intense. This is deep. Like, um, because you're running through. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I would glue myself to every inch of your skin, because baby, you're the only one. I'd suffocate you with the touch of my lips, because baby, you're. It's like, this is some intense stuff. Like, this is deep. Like, full on. You got, you know, whatever. But also it's very just fun and like, like free kind of feeling. If you want to dance to it, you can't help but dance to it. I don't think I could sit
Yeah.
here and listen to it
No.
without bopping and vibing, because it just
Makes you want to
absolutely
move.
slaps. Absolutely
Yeah.
slaps.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's someone who's been on the scene for a while. Like they're a band that they've been there for a little while now, and I think they are sort of slowly building. Oh, not so like they've gone from. I'm fucking this up. I've done so well this podcast. Because the thing is, when you say like they're slowly building up, it sounds like a negative thing, and I don't
Hmm.
want it to sound like a negative thing, if
Let
that
me
makes
put it like
sense.
this. I have never heard of them before listening to this song.
Really?
Completely new to me. And I was like, I want to listen to more of these guys, because not every
Oh,
song can
that's
sound
good.
like this, but these guys have got the vibe, I guess, to use a word, is
Yeah.
absolutely there, and I love it. And I do like. I just read this interview here, and they've got making this album helped us weather the storm of the last year. It held us together in a time of uncertainty. It gave us purpose when we felt forgotten. When therapy failed, these songs serve
Oh
as a way
wow.
to process grief, depression, everything we go through as the anxiously minded creative people we are. And I was like,
That is
I
worded
like
so
that.
beautifully.
I,
That's
I,
just
I, yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. It's very like, okay, nice.
anxiously minded. Oh, I love that. That's so like descriptive of the fan base as well. Like,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. And that thing of
I,
like, yeah, like finding a way of, because sometimes processing certain things, the way that you might, you think, oh, I'll go to therapy and this will be fine and it'll solve it. But there are things that sometimes they need a different kind of therapy, if that makes sense, a different kind of approach to deal with and to process. And in some cases, I definitely agree that that can be through music. So to be able to like write some songs and play them, perform them, and use that as a means of getting over or getting through some really tough times. I get that. It
yeah,
makes perfect sense to me.
and I think therapy is talking. Most forms of therapy involve talking, and sometimes you don't need that. You need something else. If you're feeling angry, you might need to sit there and scream along to heavy
Yeah.
metal, or some people will like smash stuff or whatever. But and then sometimes there's a form of sort of depression or feeling anxious where talking about it is not going to help. Talking about it might make it worse. So actually,
Mm.
just sitting there listening to some sad songs or listening to some positive songs like this just relieve some of those feelings, which is a form of therapy. It's like it's dealing with it. It might not be talking about the roots of your past and getting into all of that, but like it's a solution to your problems in not necessarily a long-term way, but a short-term way that works.
It is, and I 100% think that there are times where you can talking about it is not the thing that helps initially, but it can be something that is almost unlocked by doing something else first. So maybe you really need to go and like go to the gym and fucking just tire yourself out by doing all these things, or you
Yeah.
need to like scream at something, or you need to like make some music, and because you need to do like a little bit of internal processing, a little bit of understanding and dealing with it, and sometimes that then unlocks this kind of thing of now I'm ready to talk about it. Now I have the words which I
It's
didn't
the
have initially.
reflective side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I move on to... Let's go for Strawberries for Two by Tiny Umbrellas.
Oh, this is such a cute song. It's so sweet. It's just so, yeah, just lovely.
It's sweet
Like,
from the very, like, I saw the album art and I
and
was
you
already
knew.
like, this is going to be a cute one.
Yeah, and it's just so I definitely think of sort of like the women loving women, whoa, women women loving women playlist
Do you want to
side
give
of
that
sort of.
another try, or we can give it a couple more if you feel like you want to?
I went into it so confidently and it just didn't come out. Like it just didn't work.
I'm sorry, go
Um
on, say it again. It's fine.
it it definitely feels like it belongs on a sort of women loving women playlist.
Yes.
With like Dodie and all
Yeah,
the
Stody, exactly.
yeah, all the sweetie pies of this world. Um there's so much sort of imagery in it and it makes you feel like it feels like young love, just
Yes,
feels
exactly.
um it I think obviously going on a picnic is a very nice date idea, but I think when you're younger sometimes a picnic is one of the only things you can do because it doesn't cost a lot of money to
Yes.
do, and it's sort of where a lot of I think teenage romances sort of begin is from um walking around the shops, just like window shopping or going for a picnic, or maybe if you're lucky going to the cinema. And I think it sort of makes me think of being a teenager and um going through those sort of not necessarily like first loves, but first you know fancies and romances and stuff like that where you're holding.
It's the
Oh, I held
innocence of
hands
it.
with them today. Yeah.
It's very innocent. It's very sweet. It's very like, we've had lots of songs that are very sex positive and very open about
Yeah.
sex and those kind of things. This is not that. This is in no means that. This is just a bit. Jeez, fuck. I might just.
That sigh was so like deep as well on my part.
I felt that in my core, that sigh. Oh my goodness.
Nobody is going to get that, so I'm gonna have to get it. Shit me. I've still got my headphones on.
Oh gosh.
Oh, fuck yourself. I have no shoes on. Oh, this is my keys. Oh, are they in the door? Back door. Oh, now they've opened the fucking door. Right. Ugh. Ugh. What the fuck? Oh, okay. No, that's not. Ugh. I'm so confused. This is. my, how? I could hear you laughing through my headphones. Oh, I need a wee now.
Initially, I was going to like make sure that was edited out, and now it's 100% staying in. Well, thank you. You've actually made my afternoon a little bit brighter.
Well, we hadn't laughed that much this podcast, so
No. I was definitely overdue. Like some people have. Oh well, while you're setting back up, I will tell you.
Yeah.
So apparently, my laugh is people seem to really love my laugh.
Apparently it's a little bit of a cackle, but it's like it's a cute cackle instead of oh my god, what the fuck is he doing with his life?
But also, I have been meaning to tell you a message from many of the people who listen to the podcast also watch my stream because I promote it so aggressively that it's impossible to escape it. So all of these people feel like they know you and you have no idea who they are.
That's so funny.
But let me just say that you are very much loved by these people. These people think you're incredible. Like, what was the conversation we had yesterday? I can't remember. It ended up with them saying that Kat was a queen and that they stand you. They fully are all like, the second I mention you, they're like all in. One of my friends has started using "All You Bougie Boy" every time as like a kind of fallback thing. They listen to it and it was so in their minds they can't help but say it at random occasions. And I was like,
oh my god,
that's Kat's influence spreading far beyond like people she ever thought would be influenced by her. So there you go. You know,
that's
some people
beautiful.
who you don't know on the internet think you're incredible.
Aw, that's so sweet.
They find it very strange that you don't know them,
that's so
that they
funny.
know you. And I said that I would pass on their love for you. So
I'll have to start joining your streams again because I did at the start and then
they don't make
but then
much
I
sense.
can then find out who these people are, these magical beings.
It would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. I think it's made her day.
Yes, it
has it made your day? You can say if it hasn't made your day.
I mean, like, considering the trauma I just went through for the last, like, 3 minutes or whatever it was while I was doing, like, that has definitely, even despite that problem, has made my day.
There you go.
So
look at that.
You are wonderful people.
What was I saying? I was saying about this song, the innocence of it, and the sense of it's just very romantic and like that feeling of you're just there laying down like on the grass with someone and thinking, I wonder if you could possibly feel this way that I feel. But also I don't want to ruin the moment because this is a really sweet moment and I don't want to say anything, so I'm just gonna enjoy it. It's very innocent and sweet and romantic in a way that it is a bit childlike, really. It is a bit like when you're still trying to work things out and understand love and all of these things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's nice and uncomplicated, I think, was the thought I had for like lots of things are very complicated about adult life, but this is just a very sweet, innocent. There's no.
And it's light. It's not a heavy.
Yeah.
You're not talking about some married couple, someone having an affair, or someone moving halfway across the world, or like there's no. You're not. It there is a market for this. This sweet and that, like I need that in my playlist. Like I think it's just. It's lighthearted. It's not Depresso Espresso.
I love it. Beautiful song.
Sometimes a Depresso Espresso is needed.
Sometimes it is needed, and if you ever need a Depresso Espresso, hit me up and I will be that for you.
Before we go on to the last two songs, I just wanted to explain quickly what happened while we had a little break.
Alright, you want to go back to that, do you?
Yeah, I just thought about it because otherwise I'll forget the end, and I don't know if you'll keep the video clip in, so I need to explain my actions. Otherwise it will probably look very weird. Okay, so
Oh yeah,
the
because
beeping
normally we
happened.
don't look weird at all.
But the beeping happened. You guys sort of saw what happened with that. Couldn't find the keys. I then go to look out the window, which I don't know if you like would have realized from the audio what was happening. But I stood on the dog bed. We've got a new dog bed, and the dogs have been loving it recently. But I thought it was a bit weird because Peg hadn't slept. I don't think she slept on it last night. Um, and I didn't think much of it. I thought, oh, whatever. But she had been sleeping on it most nights. I thought it a bit odd. Anyway, step on it, and it's a little bit wet, and I'm like, fuck me, one of the dogs have pissed on the bed. What? Like, what? And with our new floor, I was like, oh my god, why? Like, why? Why now? Because I can't just ignore it for the rest of the podcast. So I then go to like lift the bed up, and it starts pouring with water, but it's clear. So I'm like, okay, that's too much. Like, it would have to be like 10 dogs worth of piss to be that much like volume. So I lift it up, and it starts dripping everywhere. I'm like, now I've got to like run with this dog bed to get outside so it doesn't get all over the floor. And because our floor's vinyl, if the water all gets to the edge, it will go under and it will lift and peel and just fucking disaster. So there's this big pool of water. I realise what's happened is the aircon has leaked. Karma for having a fucking aircon.
Ah. Oh, you bougie girl.
Bougie bougie. Yeah. So like I was then like shit. I need a towel, and then when you put your if you put your foot in water, it makes me need a pee. I don't know if anyone else has that. Like if you get in the bath, you instantly need a pee. So I always pee before I get in the bath.
Mm.
One of those things. So yeah, if Chris does include me hopping around like with a fucking dog bed, that is why. Thought it was quite funny.
It's going to be a beautiful thing. Let's just say that much.
Yes.
Should we go on to the last
Yes.
song?
So Lizzie Reed, how do I show my love? Question mark. That's
How do you show your love?
oi oi.
Oh, yeah.
So this song with her voice. So you know how you said with Roots, I think it was with Roots, you said she's got a very calming voice. It made me laugh because I literally put in my notes for Lizzie Reed, calming voice.
I agree.
And like just beautiful. Also, I love her hair. Like it's all curly.
It's great, isn't it?
It's great. That just as a side note. And I put like I really love the sort of creaky piano, like lo-fi feel, and it makes you feel like you're in the room. I know when you hear sort of someone who's not using a keyboard for their audio recording, who's using an actual piano or getting the sort of imperfections. I love that. I think it's just so warming.
Yeah. It's the raw
Yeah.
feeling of it, isn't it? The sense of it being almost like having set up a microphone in a room with a piano and just going for it. Just doing your thing.
I was gonna say, even though it is like quite a maybe different style slightly, I think it reminds me a bit of Nora Jones. I don't know if you
Yeah,
get
okay,
that.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the same feeling, not necessarily like there might not necessarily be a huge overlap, but just the sort of mood. I
Yeah.
think I could happily listen to Lizzie Reed and Nora Jones in the same playlist.
Yeah.
And I love Nora Jones, so
I
yeah.
agree.
What were you gonna say?
I just love that raw um personal feeling, I think, of like that feeling of the sadness and that like is clearly sad. The I brought you back your clothes for one last
Mm.
goodbye. And it's like
Mm.
that's really sad. Like I feel this pain, this heartbreak that you're talking about, this feeling of like you've lost something and you're not really ready for it and you're struggling and you just can't deal with it.
It's like the opposite of the last song. Like it's
It
gone from
is a
the
bit.
sweet, innocent, sort of happy
Mm.
beginning parts of love, and then that's the sort of end of the line, depressing side of love.
It is, and it's not. I think if you're in a really fatalistic kind of mood, you'll be like, well, that's it. I'm never going to be happy again. And actually,
Mm.
you can end up you go full circle and you end up back at the other place again. But I just think it's such a cathartic, soothing almost thing of just quite personally like it's almost like a therapy session. I've sat down and just it's basically saying I feel sad, I'm struggling, and I'm just going to tell you about how I'm feeling. The very style of how she plays it is very it's it's almost like a conversation. Like there's these little pauses almost of thinking what you're going to say, and then you carry on because you've worked out the next sentence, or you've worked out what you're going to say next. It's it just feels personal is the word I'm going for.
Sorry, I got sort of captivated by what you're saying because I was just sort of, just you're on the nose with that. I think it just is a very hard feeling that I think everyone goes through. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I guess when you were talking, it just sort of put me back into it. Just sort of reminded me of like heartbreak
Hmm.
it and how sad I feel thinking about how sad I was. Like I just, as a
Yeah.
young person, being heartbroken is such a cruel, but it's a
Cool.
necessary thing because I think you
It
don't
is.
go through it, then you don't know your own self worth. I think like a
If
lot
you
of
didn't feel
people.
like that, you wouldn't have cared about the situation. You only feel that kind of pain, that sadness, I think, because it meant so much to you.
Yeah, and I think that's a really brave thing to do. Like sometimes you're putting somebody else's
Mm,
well-being and
mm,
over yours, like their happiness over yours. And I think as you get older, you realize that that's not the best thing to do. You've got to. It's hard, not putting somebody else's um, happiness and what they want to do in life first, because it's almost a cop out. You're just trying to look after them, but I think you realize you only get one life, and
mm.
if you don't do what you want, then what is the point? Like that sounds really dark, but like
No, no, I get it 100%. You don't want those regrets, though, do you? Like, especially if you've lived, let's say 90 years. You don't want to be looking back and just thinking of all the things that you didn't do because you were putting yourself second.
I'm really proud of one of my friends at the moment because she's gone through quite a hard breakup. It was quite a long, like long time relationship, and they were living together and stuff. And um, she's keeping herself busy. She is taking things off the list. She's going away. She's doing loads of activities. She's going out with friends. Um, like she's going on runs, and she's just trying to do the most with a difficult situation. She's and I'm really proud, like, because it's so. There's nothing wrong with crawling into a depression pit, like,
No,
and
no.
I'm definitely sure she would have had days like that. But I'm really proud that she's found this strength to get out there and yeah, do
Good
things
for
that she
her.
wants to do. Yeah, like
Good for her.
I think that's great.
I love that.
Um, yeah. Um, do you wanna? Is there anything else? I didn't really have anything more to say. Not in
No,
a
no, I was going to move on to your last one,
awesome.
which
Yeah, so this
is.
song I sprung on you because I put it on last night.
You did,
Um,
yes. Tread on Me by Matt Mason. Matt Mason?
yes.
Don't know, one or the other.
I always say Matt Mason. I don't
Let's go
know.
Matt Mason. I'm happy with that.
Have you heard of him before, first of all?
No.
Because really, fuck me. Okay, you've got some listening to do, right? This album, you need to just
I've
save
got
this
homework.
album.
I've got homework.
Hallucinogenics and Cringe. I want to say came out.
Oh,
Oh
sorry, I thought
fuck.
you were describing to me like an evening you had once.
um, it says it came out in 2019. I swear that's not right. Oh, I guess that is 3 years ago. oh, I don't know. It feels like these songs have been around longer than that. Um, but Cringe and Hallucinogenics are fucking bangers, and I like listened to those songs for, well, apparently since 2019, even though I thought it was longer
Well,
than that.
exactly.
Um,
All right, I'll
um,
give you this. Hang on, I'll give you this. The song Cringe itself came out in 2017,
Beautiful.
and the song Hallucinogenics came out in 2018,
There
both
we
of which
go.
would have been within your first year.
Thank you. Okay, I'm not crazy.
There you go.
Um,
Pull it back for you.
so so these songs I listen to a lot. Very therapeutic. Very like you can sing along karaoke to. Beautiful. Um, and then a couple of days ago, I don't know if you know who Gabby Hannah is. Um, she's a YouTuber, but
YouTuber?
she's a YouTuber, but she started a music um, career, and unfortunately, well, I don't know if she actually is or not, but from what I've seen of her posts on social media, it seems like she's going through a bit of a mental health crisis. She's
Hmm.
posting saying that she's not going through a mental health crisis, but you know, whatever judgment is on that, that is separate. But basically, in one of the videos, she had this song in the background, "Tread on Me" by Matt Mason, and I was like, "That's Matt Mason." And then I was like, "Oh, I love him," so I'm gonna search this song. And then I was like, "It's on the same fucking album that I've listened to all that time, and I've never heard this song, so I don't know how I missed it." I obviously had Cringe and Hallucinogenics on a playlist and wasn't actually listening to the album. I don't fucking know, but it was great because I was like, oh my god, there's now another song that I get to add to the list that I fucking love, and it was like a little secret gem, and it's the same style and vibe as the other two songs. But to me, it's crazy because normally on an album you have like maybe one or two really songs that really hit. But then when I found this, I was like, oh my god, like there's so much in this album that's like crazy good. Um, it's still like depressing. Depressing pop. Would you say that's like a fair?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I was just reading this thing about Gabby Hannah. I was just
Oh,
I'd not
she's
heard
been
anything about
posting
this.
about 100 TikToks a day.
Yeah. Well, I hope she's doing okay and getting the help that she needs at least. Yeah, the thing I find a lot of this song is lots of it is very like being tired of people not being tired of people, but like
I feel that though.
yeah, well, exactly. I think it's that thing of like people have a lot to say. People have a lot to say about you, I think. Um,
Yeah,
especially with the if you're looking down on me, I could really give a good damn. A good goddamn, there you go.
yeah,
And that feeling of like people have a lot of um opinions about you and constantly have things to say about you, especially when you're in a public eye. When you're someone who's
mm,
become, people have a lot to say about your life and the situations you end up in. And even when they don't have the whole picture, especially with
yeah.
that's why like if
Tell
every
me
time
about
it's
it.
my fault somehow, and it's like you don't really understand it. You've just come like half involved in the situation. You've heard a little bit and decided that I'm the bad cop. Um, and it's like also trying to be not trying to do it without needing drugs and things. So that first line, I come a long way from the trips and the shaky hands.
Yeah,
It's weird actually. You mentioned a song called Hallucinogenics. I have to imagine there's a link there somehow. I
yeah,
don't know, but like,
must be.
it's that feeling of I know lots of musicians and things use drugs and alcohol as a bit of a
As a
crutch, and public figures
medication, yeah.
generally, yeah, to get through the kind of the thing. In some cases, for some people, it's like overnight they can turn from someone who no one has ever heard of to this big star. You can be known around the world. Like, it just blows up. And that's a really big shock to the system that lots of people don't know how to deal with. And you don't necessarily get training for it. You just thrust into it. So
And the
you
thing is,
have to medicate and get out of it. And I think you get that feeling of this of someone who maybe initially had that thing of panicking a little bit about it and just trying to find some kind of calm and using drugs and alcohol as a thing, and now it's a kind of a more of a look back, as if to be like, well, I'm past that point now. I don't think it's okay that you're saying these things to me. I don't think it's okay that you're doing all this shit to me. I'm gonna be me and keep your opinions to yourself, which I like.
yeah, definitely. I think with being a musician is people assume if you want to make it in music that you want to be famous.
Yeah,
You want to be rich, you want to be famous. But actually, a lot of the time, you think how many musicians can live off their art without being famous or without being in a spotlight? Like it doesn't happen. Like I think I know with Piers, for example, oh, he would love to play Wembley. He would love to be selling like albums and sharing his music with the world. He'd love that. But I don't think there's no desire there to have people know his business, to be like
no,
um yeah, to be famous, to be recognized on the street. I think he would hate that, but I know that like his passion is to write songs and he wants people to hear them and he wants people to like them. But there's definitely like a gap there between wanting to be I don't think you could make it as a musician if you just wanted to be famous in it for the money. You're like at the start you might not want that, and then at the end you might want that, but I don't think you can approach it and do well with that mindset. I don't know, but I don't see that happening. I think that genuinely has to be a passion for the music and not for fame and fortune, as it were.
I feel that. I feel it's one of those things where I think with life, I never want to be able to lose the ability to do what I want to do, and just if I want to wake up in the morning and do fucking nothing, I want to be able to wake up in the morning and do nothing. Like it's it's just one of those things that with Piers, it's those things that he wants to make music and he wants to be able to do these things because it's his passion. It's what he really wants to do. He doesn't want to lose his the ability to just decide, oh, should we go and watch a film or should we just go and do this thing
Yeah,
today? You don't want to lose that just because of the other thing. You want to be able to give this thing, this like thing you've created to people and say, here you go, have a listen if you like, check it out, enjoy it. I'm gonna go and do my thing.
yeah.
And I don't want you to write an article about it. I don't want you to write a thing about, Chris was spotted through his back window, sat in his, tracksuits watching something for the
Porn.
20th time. Watching the most vanilla porn ever, and it's like, wow, is he really just into that? And I was like,
Watching 20
whatever.
minutes of snogging.
Exactly. Like, what? Nothing was happening in this. Why was he watching? He was just sat there. He was just, or like, something like that. Or I don't know. Chris happened to watch EastEnders the other day. I don't know, whatever, something like that. I don't want that. Like, you leave me to do my thing, and then I'll come out every now and then. I'll give you something, and you can listen to it and do what you
Yeah,
want. And I'm gonna carry on doing my thing because it's my life. It's
yeah.
quite difficult. It's quite difficult.
Shall we? Shall we
Sorry,
wrap
the ice cream
wrap
van
this?
is. The ice
Oh
cream
yeah,
van
it's
just
the
came
time.
outside again. Yeah, it happened. I'd forgotten about this every week.
Yeah, so had I, to be honest.
Well, it's been
Yeah,
a
we've
weird
done.
one.
We've covered quite a lot, I think, and I know there's more that we want to cover, but that's a good thing that we've got an idea for the next sort of episode or two. So
We do, we do. We're back,
it's
baby.
it's been oi oi
Aye,
bougie
aye.
boy.
You bougie
Um,
boy.
yeah, I've really like enjoyed this. It's been
Me
fun,
too.
and it's good to yeah. I don't. It's weird because it's not like we have direct contact with the people who are listening, but it's nice to hear you guys hear us again. Woo!
It's been good. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it, and
We love you.
we do.
Thank you for supporting us.
Thanks for sticking by us and all that kind of shebang. Shebang.
Shebang. I love the word shebang. We're gonna stick with it. Don't regret
Okay,
it.
good.
No
I like it.
regrets.
I like it. Thanks for
Okay.
sticking with us. You're awesome. We will see you next time.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.